Do you like my mug?
How does it feel to be a McLaren support at the moment?
It feels great. This is a McLaren Cup, but you can't see it because there's no hot coffee. Anyways, let's get this podcast started. Welcome back to Break at the Apex. This is the fun episode. This is the prediction show, or this is the rating show, not the prediction show. But we are going to go through the predictions that we made. But first, we're going to rank some drivers, because why? Drivers deserve a ranking. Simply because we want to see who sucks, and then we also want to see who's good. But mostly we want to see who sucks, because that's the most important part, because for the banter and the vibes and whatnot. So all I can say now is, like, currently Logan Sargent is definitely... anyways, let's move on. First of all, we're going to start this episode with the norm, and we're going to jump into the moment of the weekend. So I'm not going to lie, guys, I haven't thought of that, actually. So I will think about that, and I'm going to let you guys go first. So moment of the weekend is probably not going to be anything Ferrari related, but BT, you can go first. So sorry, man. Just give us your...
Yeah.
Moment of the week was Magnussen driving like he was Prost for like 5 laps. That was my moment of the week. He looked, I don't know, bro. I don't know what is happening. I was so confused. Thought it was Elon Prost in that car, or Michael Schumacher, or Anton Senna in that car. He was going, oh wow. So that was moment of the week.
That was a Top Gear James May swapping in the Stig as a joke moment for Kevin Magnussen, because that was not Magnussen driving.
Oh my
that
goodness.
was Michael, or he quickly swapped cars with Lewis, and in the pit stop they jumped back or something. But oh my word,
that was incredible to watch, though. Even though you knew that it wasn't going to work out at the end, like even the commentators kept on saying that. But no matter what, it just looked so epic to watch. Like, doesn't matter what you knew was going to come. It was just such an epic. It was just a good way to start a wet race. You know, like, wet races are usually boring at the start, you know what I mean? But that was just such a good way to start a wet race, because you just saw overtake after overtake, him and Hulkenberg just taking everybody, and you're just like, oh, hello, well, hang on, what's going on here? It was beautiful. Anyways, Dirk, moment of the weekend.
Yeah, there's so much to choose from, and I really struggled with this choice. But honestly, the moment of the weekend for me personally was Oscar Piastri's maturity.
Yeah.
There was a lot of amazing things that happened throughout this race weekend, not just in the race, but even in the practice sessions. But for me, that kid is going places, and I am so excited to follow his career path.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how he just keeps getting better and better. But for me, definitely his maturity moment, sticking behind Lando to keep the Mercs behind.
100%. And quite frankly, that kid, he's mature. I mean, we spoke about it in the last episode. His maturity is what's going to make him a world champion, because he just knows how to play the long game.
Yes.
I mean, the current king of the long game is Lewis Hamilton. He knows how to play the long game, and I see the same thing in Piastri. He thinks.
Yes.
He thinks. He's not completely impulsive. He thinks about things, which is a really good trait to have in Formula One. So I completely understand.
Esteban Ocon, go learn something from Piastri.
Please.
It's fine. He won't be in F1 next year, so it doesn't really matter. Cool. My moment of the weekend was the leader deciding move from Ferrari. No, sorry, not Ferrari. Sorry, guys.
Graham. Graham. Screw this.
No.
Keep going.
I'm just... Where's this guy going now? What's he gonna do now? Okay.
He's going to hit you with something. You keep on bringing up Ferrari the whole time.
Yeah, okay. It's just a bit of banter, gents, but oh my goodness. That's a proud supporter.
I will still.
That's a proud supporter. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. We've had our chat in the last episode, and I'm pretty proud of Ferrari, to be honest, with how they handled things, even though it didn't go so well for them. But anyways, getting on to my moment of the weekend. On a serious note, it was the decider of the win by Lando Norris's moves. I don't think I'm explaining this correctly, but basically what I'm trying to say is he got left out on inters, and man, did he just pull a massive gap. And it was at a point where we were like, is Max going to actually be able to get him by the time he gets out the pits? And it was so close. And that moment, that very moment where he got out of the pits and he was next to Max and he wobbled a little bit, that very moment was my moment of the weekend, because that moment was such a good feel for the fact that this McLaren team is here. They're ready. They're ready to fight. They're taking this thing seriously now. And the way that Norris just found pace and on those inters, oh my goodness, it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, he pulled a 12-second gap on Max Verstappen, of all people. How? Anyways, that was my moment of the week. So let's move on to the blooper of the weekend, guys. I don't wanna like take you out of your stride. You know, if this is your blooper, then I do apologize. But I'm gonna challenge you guys to pick a blooper of the weekend without picking Ocon and Ferrari and Logan Sargent.
Ooh.
I'm gonna challenge you without Logan Sargent, without Ocon, without Ferrari, and without Perez, because that's boring as well. Pick a blooper without those 4 people or teams. I think that's.
There's no bloopers.
No. There is still bloopers.
I think there are. I've got one in mind.
Okay, you guys go first. I'm so
okay. Can I go, Graham?
Go for it, pal. Ladies first.
Okay. So
sorry, the long hair again. Sorry, my bad.
So my original blooper of the weekend, honestly, I can't defend the guy anymore. Would have been Logan Sargent, because he was just pathetic.
Thank you.
I will admit that. And Perez was a close second. But considering what you just said, Graham, my honest blooper of the weekend, and this is going to be very controversial, is George Russell. Because like I stated in the previous episode, if you guys want to go into detail about that, is I think Russell should have won. I think the Mercedes was fast enough, and I think if Russell didn't buckle under all the pressure from Verstappen and Norris, could have won. So for me, Russell is the blooper of the weekend.
Nice. Well, judging on BT's reaction, I feel like this is going to be a 3-way. Or no, that doesn't. Anyways, what I meant was that.
Don't listen.
Yeah, what I meant was, I feel like all 3 of us were about to say the same thing, because I was also going to go with that. But okay, BT, I don't know if you want to go with the same thing or if you want to change yours. I'm going to try and change mine while you talk. So go for it.
I'm going to add on the next one where after the race on the call, or after the race when Russell said that, yeah, we need to talk about a few things. Like, what are they going to talk about?
Yeah.
I feel like Russell was just being dramatic towards the end of the race, or after the end of the race. I don't know why, but it just looked like very entitled.
Oh yeah,
to me. Like an entitled
100%, 100%.
And I'm starting to see what you saw in him, Graham, where you said he gets like that because he's on the podium, and why do you still need to comment about stuff like that?
Yeah, it's almost like he already believes that he should be winning. It's almost like he already believes he's in a car that's supposed to be winning. And you know what's the funny thing? I liked him when he was in Williams because he never had that. He had more passion. He had more love, and you could see like his emotion was real. It was raw.
He didn't have arrogance.
Yeah, it was an actual like enjoyment that he had for the sport. But now, since being with Mercedes, he's just got that entitlement arrogance. But in any case, guys, I've got my blooper, and you guys are going to you're going to kick yourselves for this, because we haven't spoken about this. It's got to be the most anonymous team in Formula One history. This has got to be the most anonymous team in Formula One history. But that Kick Sauber, I don't know where they were. I don't recall seeing them.
We don't talk about them because they are anonymous.
Like, Joe literally was at the back the whole race. I'd like, dude, from 1st to 17th, people were changing, bro. People were swapping places. Things were happening. Joe was just like, nah, I'm going to be consistent, guys. Consistency is key, so I'm going to stay 18th. Don't worry about the rest. I'm going to stay 18th. I like... like, that team is so anonymous, gents. Like, I don't know what's going on there. But I feel bad for Audi because I hope they've got a better package ready. Because whatever they're getting themselves into here, it's scary, mate. Because honestly, that team is really anonymous. Like, I sometimes don't even know they're there. And it's just weird. It's just so weird to not see Bottas.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, ultimately, geez, man. You know, there's another one was Yuki, but I don't want to be too harsh. He doesn't often make mistakes. But yeah, I think that he forced himself out of that race. I think he did so well to get into the position that he was in, and then he forced himself out of that race. So I do feel a bit bad for him. I don't want to call him a blooper because he doesn't do that often. He doesn't make those mistakes often. But I do feel like it's a special mention. Yeah, go for it, Dirk.
Talking about special mention, sorry, back to Kevin Magnussen. Can we just give this guy the roses for not hitting Yuki Tsunoda when he spun? It was literally...
Oh, that wasn't
like
Magnussen, that
that.
was Hulkenberg.
Oh,
It was
Was it
Hulkenberg, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Hulkenberg.
and Hulkenberg's,
Oh,
yeah.
but still, sorry, Nico.
Yeah.
But I mean, they go through that corner, even in the wet, at close to 200 kilometers an hour, and it was millimeters from a train, freaking an airplane crash, and Hulkenberg avoided that. That for me was one of the moments of the weekend. That was incredible reactions from Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I know. Check. Listen, I think before he went to the paddock interviews, I'm pretty certain he had to go change his underwear because, quite frankly, I think he cut himself.
No. Me and my friends, we joked about this. There was no floor left of that Haas. Hulkenberg's rear end ate through the bottom. He was scraping his hiney on the road.
He must have
that's how close that was.
He must have absolutely cucked himself because that was... Bro, like, even he said after the race, even he was like, he doesn't really know how he got, because he was actually embracing for impact. And then somehow he like opened his eyes and all of a sudden it was clear in front of him. So it was like, yo, that's mental. That's mental. But anyways, let's get into the main part of the show. The really good time that we have debating the pluses and minuses. And I feel like last week was probably the easiest one we've ever done. This weekend... I don't know. I feel like it was easy on the opposite end. A lot of drivers... Actually, no, I don't think it's going to be easy at all, to be quite frank, because I don't even know how I'm going to... How do you even rate George Russell? Because it was his best weekend probably ever in that Mercedes, but he also cost himself potentially a win or at least a second place. So I don't even know. Anyways, let's get into it, guys. Let's see what... I mean, it's a three-way thing.
Let the fun start.
I mean, like, what's the word that I'm trying to get out this word here. What am I trying to say? No, I was about to say multiple choice. Damn it. What the flip? What is the...
Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse Graham. He's a bit rusty.
Yeah,
still.
What is the word, man?
Yeah.
There's majority rules. Sorry, majority rules. That's the word. Majority rules. It's three of us here, so
Wow, fine.
there we go. I don't know how I missed that. Anyways, okay, guys, up or down? For those of you who don't know yet, we do MVP ratings or rankings. We started every single driver on the same value of $5 million. And every weekend we have given them an up or down rating, whether they go up by 1 million or go down by 1 million or stay the same based on their performance of the race.
And who's leading and who's lost at the moment?
Okay, currently the worst driver is none other than anonymous Valtteri Bottas. With 2...
Are you serious?
He has currently got 2 million. And currently the highest is Oscar Piastri, sitting on 9 million. Well done, Oscar. And quite frankly, I think he's going to go up, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, what I would like to just highlight is, it's nice to give you guys maybe an update from time to time, but this is going to be a dedicated episode at the end of the season where we go through this. So I'm not going to give you updates every time because that just spoils the surprise. So I think at the start we were also putting the graphics up on the edits. I'm not doing that anymore because I think at the end of the season we'll do it and then I'll put the graphics up because then it's everyone will be surprised at who we think were the best 20 drivers because then we'll do them in order. We won't do them in team order. We'll do it in order from the best to the worst. Okay, so basically this is just our version of power rankings, but accurate because we are better than for F1. We have better knowledge, we have better data, and we just know more. I guess that's just how it works. So anyways, gents, let's get into it.
Sure.
Max Verstappen. +1.
This one's gonna be easy.
+1. I mean,
it's an up.
I can't.
An up.
Can't really. I mean,
if anybody says, even if you're in the comments, if you say stay the same or down, you clearly watched the wrong Grand Prix in the wrong year.
Yeah, no. This is definitely an up. But then the other side of the garage was like sort of like the opposite end of the story where I feel like between his 2-year extension and his back rear wing, that's like I just said the same thing twice, right? So basically what I'm trying to say here is between his 2-year extension and his rear wing, he's cost the team so much. I think he should just go straight down to 0. But anyways, let's just play the game. So are we going to go down, up, or stay the same, gents?
Are you still asking?
No, I'm not. I've already put it in, so I'm just asking for just to be like respectful, to respect your guys' opinions. Obviously, I don't, people in the comments are just going to be like, this Graham guy doesn't even respect opinions. He just does his own thing and moves on. So I've got to show the people that I respect you guys, Cool.
Viewers, we are used to it. Me and BT are used to it. He's a bully.
Yeah.
So, I don't really want to hurt anybody's feelings, guys, but like next up is Ferrari. So, like we'll start with Charles Leclerc.
Graham, go away.
It's part of the game. I have to do it. I mean, I can't must I skip them because then they just don't get any rating, guys.
I say keep them the same, bro.
No. Okay, Leclerc, I agree with. Leclerc, I agree with.
Yes, Charles, because he had an engine issue and they gambled. But Sainz made a very bad driving error. I think Sainz is
so bad that he actually admitted it.
Unfortunately,
at the end, he said it at the end. He said, when we got onto slicks, we started finding momentum, but then I made a driver error. So he did admit that. And quite honestly, it took him out of the race, and it took Albon out of the race. So quite frankly, I think definitely Sainz down. Charles, I'm happy to keep it on 8. None of it was his fault, really. To be honest, I don't think he had any control. And then we've got this is the tough one. George Russell, gents. What are we gonna do with George Russell? I'm not gonna lie, gents. Like I know we've had our say on him, and in some ways we've sort of been a little bit harsh on him. But ultimately, it was the best weekend he's had, and he did end up getting a podium. Ultimately, he did put it on pole. I feel like we'd be a bit unfair to give him anything other than a plus, so I'm going to go with a plus.
BT? Gee, thanks. Trying to not be on the spot, and you're just like, nah, go. Okay, honestly, I can't say the guy is my blooper of the weekend and give him an up. So for me, I would keep him the same. It definitely doesn't deserve a down. He still had a very, very good performance, but I can't make him my blooper and then say, nah, give him an up. So for me, stay the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we're committing a heist here. So
okay.
I totally agree with you, Dirk. For me as well, he folded when he had to be clutch at that point, and his teammate had to show him how it's done. Eventually, he did overtake his teammate, but he did qualify on pole and he finished third. So I'll keep him the same as well.
Okay, cool. And then we move over to Lewis, which, guys, I mean, if we kept Russell the same, we've got to keep Lewis the same because we can't give Lewis a plus, even though I think Lewis did pretty well. Because ultimately, he did lose to his teammate, ultimately, at the end. And he was in the fight with his teammate at one stage. So, I mean,
that battle between the Mercs was actually pretty insane, and they kept it very clean and tidy. Yeah. And Russell did the better job of the two, so keep Lewis the same, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to keep Lewis the same as well.
He buckles against Verstappen and the McLarens, but he doesn't buckle against his teammate. That says a lot.
No, well,
I'm starting to think that Russell really hates Lewis, bro. I don't think he likes Lewis.
I don't know.
Anyway, story for another day.
Maybe that's the conspiracies we need to talk about.
On its own.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, then we're gonna get into Lando Norris. It's a tough one actually, because at some stages of the race you thought this guy was an absolute hero, but then at other stages of the race you thought Piastri should probably pass him actually. So it's a tough one, but just for what he did on those.
But that was down to the weather.
Yeah.
That was honestly down to the conditions changing so quickly and so like there was multiple condition changes. I don't think that was down to the drivers. I think that was just down to how quickly they would adjust, and that's just, I want to say, DNA.
I want to give Lando a plus for a few reasons. One, what he pulled on Max on those inters was ridiculous. When everybody went into pits and he stayed out, the gains that he pulled during that period was ridiculous. And in a sense, I think the team stuffed him a little bit, not himself. It was more the team that stuffed him a bit. But also his maturity. We haven't spoken about his maturity in that he came out and he was like, yeah, I'm a bit unhappy because the team did mess up. But ultimately, it happened in Miami. It won us a race. This time it happened. It didn't win us a race. It happens. And I like that. I like that maturity because it just shows me that, you know, he's not going to, you know, no matter how unhappy he is about it, he's not going to whine like a baby. He understands that the sport works that way. So I like that. I do like that. So I'm giving him a plus. I don't know about you boys, but I'm giving him a plus.
Yeah, me too.
Now, for me, both of them, honestly, get a plus. Yeah. I don't have anything bad to say about them. They just had a solid weekend, and they had to deal with the conditions like all the other drivers.
Yeah, for sure.
So there were a few mistakes here and there, but it's nothing that broke the bank. So for me, both of them are getting it up.
For sure. Cool. Fernando Alonso. You know, Aston Martin was quite anonymous in this race, but yet they were there.
Very much anonymous.
Never saw them, but they were there. I saw Stroll a couple times, but they were there.
Did you guys miss the 25-lap battle between Alonso and Lewis, where Alonso defended like an absolute champion?
But they didn't focus on that a lot. They focused a couple laps, and that was that. And then after that, you didn't see anything about Fernando again. He was sort of in no man's land. And him and Stroll were 5th and 6th for 6th and 7th for like the majority of that race, and it didn't change. So it's like nobody.
But they were the midfield. Aston Martin was the midfield. You had the front runners and then Ferrari and the rest at the back. They were literally, both of them were in no man's land.
Yeah.
There was like 6 to 8 seconds between them constantly. Yeah. Alonso ahead of Stroll, and they just extended from the guys behind and lost to the guys in front. They were the midfield.
Yeah.
But they had, comparing to where that Aston was the last 3 races, big improvement.
They had a good race, yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It doesn't change my thoughts. I mean, like, just for the defending ability, I'm giving Fernando a plus. But I just wanted to make that point that we haven't actually spoken about Aston Martin, but also they were pretty anonymous in the race. Like, we saw them a couple times, and that was that pretty much. But yeah, I'm giving Alonso a plus. Don't know about you, gents.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, me too.
Stroll as well. Maybe it wasn't his best qualifying, but he was able to make those places, and he did fairly well, I think, to get behind Alonso. And I mean, I don't think he could have done any better, let's be honest. So I mean, to me, again, I think I'm going to give Stroll a plus as well.
Compared to his previous performances at his home race, like, he's never had good luck. Well, he's never performed well at his home Grand Prix. And Stroll was very close to Alonso throughout the weekend, except for the last half of the race where Alonso's experience really kicked in. And even though I hate to give him an up, he had a good weekend. I just don't. I feel about Stroll the way you guys feel about Ocon right now. I just don't like the guy. So, but still, he had a good weekend. It's an up.
Yeah. PT? I mean, we've really...
Yeah, I mean...
Fair enough.
Nothing else to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, Lance is a toughie for me. I mean, you guys know my stance on Lance in the past where, you know, I always sort of backed him in some way in his abilities, and I always thought that he does have something. He does have something. And he showed it again this weekend. Like, he has something. There is something there. But he just doesn't seem to show it and bring it out consistently. But every now and again, he does these things where you're like, oh, hello. What's going on here? Like, well done, Stroll. But he just doesn't seem to keep it there. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like the kid is actually quite good. It's just he just does not seem to bring it out. But every now and again, he'll bring it out. And then we were like, oh, okay. Anyways, I just felt like...
His wow factor is the definition of inconsistent.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
About to say
Okay,
that.
cool. Let's move on to Yuki Tsunoda. BT, I'll let you go first on that one.
Yeah, Yuki, eh?
Tough one as well, because I think he did so well to get to where he was, and then he just bricked it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, ultimately it was an unforced error. I mean, he caused it on himself, so...
He made the mistake.
Yeah, to me, it's not a question of up, it's a question of is it stay the same or down, because ultimately he killed his own race, but he really got himself into a really good position. And all that effort got undone, but it's a good race overall.
I just don't feel like, well, for me, I can't give Sainz a down for making an unforced error and not give Yuki a down after he got himself into such a good position where he should just have concealed the points.
Yeah.
So for me, even though I don't want to, it's a down for Yuki for me.
So it's a pity.
Yeah, no, it is. If you explain it that way, then it is.
Yeah, shame, 100%. I feel for him because I think he did such a superb job again, for the 50th time this year. But it just, for some reason, bricked it. Dirk. Anyways, let's go for...
It's time for the Mr. Spinardo.
The good thing.
I'm sorry, you're gonna hear this joke the entire season.
It's fine.
I'm not letting go of Daniel Spinardo.
I don't mind, because the good thing about it is that there's no ways he's not getting up for me this week. So ultimately, as inconsistent as he's been, I'm giving him...
Why are you talking like you're trying to threaten us because you're gonna give him an up? Then you just telling us what to do.
No.
What if we don't give him an up? What are you gonna do?
I'm just saying there's no ways I'm not giving him one. So I'm giving him an up, and you guys...
Just give him one.
Yeah, cool. So what are you guys gonna do then?
BT, you can go first.
It's gonna be a heist. Look, Danny had a good race.
He actually did.
Yeah, he had a good race. I mean, after what's the guy's name who gave him a criticism as well?
Jacques Villeneuve.
he basically said exactly what I've been saying for years, actually. So I was like, finally, someone has said this. But anyway, and I saw Ricardo's reply to him, so mature. But yeah, so yeah, I'll give him an up. I mean, he hasn't never had a weekend like this in a while, so let's get him out of the dirt for now.
To be honest, he's not even
the next race.
He's not even in the dirt, to be quite honest with you. He's quite on par with quite a lot of drivers here.
To me and Dirk is in a different category, and me and Dirk spoke about this when you were not here. So he's in the dirt.
No, I mean in terms of our rankings, he's actually not like, he's on par with quite a few of the drivers. It's not like he's far behind actually. So it's not like he's too bad. But ultimately, I think we've given him a lot of stay the same. We haven't given him too many downs, but we've given him a lot of stay the same, which is actually weird, to be quite frank. Because I mean, yeah, I don't know.
He's on the tornado ride at frickin' Carnival City. He keeps going round and round, not around the track, in circles.
Yeah.
So and those are mostly the weekends where the V carb was nowhere. So what else can you give him except the Spinardo stay in the same place? But honestly, even though I bash on the guy a lot, he's still a very lovable character, and he actually really performed well this weekend. He astonished me in qualifying. I did not expect him to be in freaking P5 and P6. And he had a consistent race. His experience kicked in, and he had a good race. So I can't fault the guy. It's an up from me as well.
As a fan, I just wish that he could be consistent, because ultimately what we saw this weekend is the Daniel we saw in Red Bull, in Renault. You know, this is the Daniel we saw then, right? But he just can't seem to stick. I mean, I guarantee next race he's probably getting slapped by Yuki again. Like, it's just, that's the story.
He's got Stroll syndrome. He's got Stroll syndrome.
Well, to be fair, his best friend is Stroll's brother-in-law. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it is, interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Ricciardo confirmed for Aston Martin 2025.
No, I doubt that. Anyways, I think. Anyways, let's move on. Okay. Ooh, Alex Albon. Ooh, tough one, because he was doing really well up until Sainz sort of made his error. Was Albon running in the points, or was he about to run in the points? He was, I think. He was 10th.
He was splitting the two Haas cars right behind the Alpine. So he was in that fight for the points before the whole incident with Sainz happened. So
I'm not gonna lie, I want to give him a +1, yeah.
We're comparing him to Logan Sargent. How?
Oh, plus 20 then, I guess. That's so then. No, I'm joking.
The thing is, Albon, again, the Williams is a really crappy car. Nothing wow happened, but Albon was getting every 10th possible that he could out of that car. And he's out of the race because of not his own fault. He tried to avoid an accident and couldn't get past because the track was freaking wet.
Why
why
could it just keep the same?
Hey?
Why can't you just keep him the same?
I want to give him a plus because I just feel like he couldn't do any better, and the only reason he didn't end the race was because of somebody else's error. But like, he was running close to the points, and if not in that fight with Ocon to get that last point. And quite frankly, for a Williams, I think that's beautiful. I think that's worthy of a +1. It's not his fault that he got taken out of the race. That's why I want to give him a +1.
Just a little bit of post-race information. He is one of I think 3 drivers that didn't make a single mistake in that race. Like, every driver somewhere had like a massive lockup or an off-track excursion. Even Verstappen had one in turn 2, and Ocon is one of Ocon. Albon is one of 3 drivers on the whole grid that didn't make a single mistake and kept the car on the black stuff. So for me, honestly, I want to give Albon an up. He did everything he could.
Yeah. Cool. So let's
just give it
I'll give him a.
I mean, what Graham said makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
The area, he didn't make the area himself.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Then we'll go over to Pierre Gasly, because we don't really talk about irrelevance in this podcast.
No. Don't even talk about.
But we mentioned Kick Sauber. That's not.
Well, we haven't. Yeah.
I'm joking.
We haven't gotten to them. I mean, I would have skipped them as well, but okay. Okay, no, on a serious note, I've given Logan a -. I'm sure you guys agree. Let's just move on.
Yeah, there's no more.
Pierre Gasly.
Round down.
Pierre Gasly, I mean, I feel like you have to give him a plus. I mean, like, there's really no other way.
He was at a stage when the transition to slicks started, even when the other drivers started going to the slicks, Gasly was consistently putting in fastest lap after fastest lap. He had great pace at some stages of that race in very tricky conditions in a tractor. So I can't see how we can not give him an up.
Yeah. Cool. And then Esteban Ocon, which, quite frankly, I mean, he didn't actually do badly in the race, but I'm gonna give him a minus just simply for his attitude.
I agree
Because
with that.
Same.
quite frankly, I think well done to Alpine for getting a double point score. I think that's the first time this year. On any other day, I would have given Ocon a stay the same or maybe even a plus as well. But in fact, any other day I would have probably given him a plus here. But his attitude degrades it for me. I think his attitude has completely degraded this to a minus for me. Because I just feel like he spat in the face of Formula One at this point, basically, or he spat in the face of Alpine.
Yep.
Things aren't going well for him, so he's like, you know what, to hell with you, I'm done, bye. I'm just gonna cause cuck now for the rest of the season, which is just such a bad attitude to have. Cool. Then we're gonna go. This is hard, man, but then we're gonna go with the two Haas ones, Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg. I mean, geez.
Honestly, sorry, Graham, can I go on this
for it,
one?
bro. I'm waiting.
For me, honestly, I want to give both of them an up.
Like?
Yeah.
Like
Sorry.
Guy's playing with his Barbie doll hair, like he's trying to brush the thing. I'm surprised you don't have a Tinkerbell brush in your hand or something.
I'm a fiddler. I can't keep. No. I'm a fiddler. I can't keep my hands still. I get frustrated, and then when I don't know what to do, I always grab my hair and do this because I need to fiddle with something.
Jeez, like
okay. In any case, back to the actual podcast before Graham puts me in the next Barbie movie. By the way, I'm open for. I'm open. If you guys really want me,
anything
I'll
to work with Margot Robbie.
All the way. Any day of the week.
Wow.
Anyways,
but back to Formula One.
Back to Formula One.
I want to give both the Haas drivers an up because honestly, we spoke in the main podcast about Ferrari had nothing to lose with Leclerc with the gamble. Haas were the only team that gambled in the beginning of the race. Both the drivers performed well, and they made sure that even though Magnussen had a crappy pit stop and they kept Hulkenberg out way too long on the wait, they were still in the points battle. They were always there. And I honestly think both of them had very, very good weekends. They didn't put feet wrong, really. They didn't make big mistakes. So for me, I really want to give them an up because they stood out. They weren't anonymous like a certain green and black car.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the Alex Albon effect where, they couldn't have really done any better. I don't think they could have done any better. Like, I think they literally did the best that they possibly could. I agree. I agree with that, to be honest. So,
I mean, good.
So, I'm waiting for BT, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. You guys are both.
Of course, we're making sense, BT. Come on.
Magnussen entertained me early in the race.
That was great. But Nico as well. Nico also.
I just wish Nico pulled some insane moves. I just wish one thing that I could wish for one thing for this race. I wish Magnussen got to the front just so that we could see what happened. I just wish he caught up to Lando, Russell, and Max. I just would have wanted to see what happened.
My thinking there was if he did get to the front, right, and he could pull like a 10 to 20 second gap in because he was going at least 3 seconds a lap quicker at that point, right? Surely. I wasn't checking Delta, but I'm sure it was somewhere around there. If he got to the front and was able maybe 2 or 3 laps to just pull like a 10 to 20 second gap, they could have been in some real serious money there because that means that extra pit that they had to do to go onto the Inters would have put them still in the top 10. Right, so it was a decent gamble, I think. It didn't pay off exactly the way they wanted to, I think, but it definitely gave us some good entertainment and it had the potential to pay off if he was able to get past all of them. But yeah.
It was worth a shot. They had nothing to lose. They were far back. It was worth
100%,
a shot.
100%. Okay, cool. Is that done? I think we're done. No, we're not done.
There's only 9 teams on the grid, everyone. We all know there's only 9 teams on the grid. The last two drivers, the one is fast on his way to pension, and the other one is just there for the band.
Yeah.
He's there to say he's an F1 driver.
Cool. So I'm gonna jump over to Sauber kicking themselves. Bottas. It's really difficult. It's really difficult though, because like it's like clearly it's the car, right?
But
so like
no, neither one of them made a single position unless someone puts it in front of them, and then as soon as they put it, they were behind in any case because they can't do a pit stop because the wheel nuts are seized. So,
to be honest, it sounds like you're describing Sergio Perez, if I'm really honest.
Yeah, well, he's fast on his way there. Point being, I can't even keep them the same. Zhou is the definition of irrelevant, and Bottas is having a pensioner's cruise in the Canadian mountains.
At this rate, Bottas is going to be in debt to his team because man's losing value.
For me, it's a down for both of them. I have no reason to keep them the same or even get close to getting them.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you, BT. You too. Okay.
Yeah, down.
Okay, cool. Hundreds. I mean, I marked them both down before you both even said it. So I mean, it is what it is. Cool. That is the driver ratings done, gents. Very interesting, and hasn't changed from the first time we spoke about it earlier. It's still Oscar up front and Valtteri Bottas at the bottom. It's just one more and one less. So ultimately not great for one and pretty amazing for the other. Anyways, let's move on to the last chat for this podcast episode, and it shouldn't take too long, so you guys can go off and enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. Let's get into our Canadian Grand Prix predictions. Now, our predictions work as such. We have a top 3 prediction, and then we have best of the bottom 5. We'll start off with the best of the bottom 5. Myself and BT, 100%. Thank you, Daniel Ricciardo, for finally pulling through for me. My man, I really appreciate you right now. So that gives me and BT some points. And then obviously Mr. Horseman himself, Dirk, gets an absolute 0.
They were close. They weren't far off, and they actually tried something. So I wouldn't say it's a useless prediction. It's wrong, but it's not 100% wrong.
I understand, mate. I really hand on heart. I really understand. But there's a saying that says they almost got it, but almost means they didn't. So unfortunately,
I'm not saying I deserve a point. I'm just saying I was close.
It's just one of those things, mate. So just suck it up and just take the loss, okay? Cool. Then we're gonna go. Hello. Hello. I wasn't far off, eh? Shucks, damn it. I'm gonna start with you guys first, okay? Because anyways, Dirk, you said Leclerc was gonna win this race. BT, you said Leclerc was gonna win this race. Do you guys regret at all?
No.
The regret levels are through the roof.
Yeah, on your side. I'm fine.
Okay.
Nah, man.
I'm over it.
I was riding on the hype of Monaco. Clearly, that was a mistake.
Okay. Let's get through them then. Dirk, you went Leclerc, Norris, and Max. So you will get 2 points for Norris because you got him spot on. And then Mr. BT, you went for Leclerc, Piastri, and Norris, so you get 1 point because you got Norris 1 away. So not the best of weekends for you guys, but I'm also the first and only person to have ever had a 0, which was in Miami. So at least it's not that bad for you, honestly.
Yeah, but we took risks this time. You played it safe.
Excuse me.
So
Excuse
you played it safe.
this weekend, yes.
I'm saying that.
I was gonna say because
I'm saying that. I'm saying this weekend you
Oh
played
yeah,
straight.
because every other weekend I didn't. Every other weekend I went.
Oh
It
my
is. You
goodness.
can go back. Perez win, Leclerc win. I've only ever gone for Max win once. Only once. And I've gone for Max win this weekend because I felt like it's time for me to actually go. Gents, I need the points. I needed the points.
No. But Graham, that was spot
Gents,
on, and I mean Max
I needed the
delivered.
points.
So spot on
I needed
prediction.
the points. Okay, I'm quite a bit behind Dirk now, so I needed the points. Dirk's first 2 weekends were really, really good, and it's pushed us down a little bit, BT, so I needed the points. I'm playing the long game here. You can do it however you want to do it. I'm playing the long game. I got a full 4 points because I got Max and Norris spot on, and then I said Leclerc for third, which, I mean, I probably don't regret it, but, yeah, I mean, he wasn't close at all. Anyways, let's move on.
I love how none of us selected a Mercedes driver.
Yeah, but like, can I be honest with you?
But can you blame
can I be
us?
honest with you? Like, I don't know where I was last week, but I don't recall seeing anything in the news about them bringing upgrades. If I'm really honest, so like, I had no clue.
It came out of the blue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't fall into the trap. I'm just telling you.
No, not happening. Not happening.
I don't really know what trap you're talking about, so I'm just gonna carry on. Anyways, let's let's end the show. I think we gained another viewer in the last episode, so I think we're now up to 7. Because the last episode was fire. I mean, we posted it and it got like proper views. Yeah, dude, like thousands. Stay positive. Hashtag stay positive. Anyways, gents, thanks for watching, and ladies, this is it's not an exclusive show. This is we take all. Have a good night, and I really hope that you enjoy your day. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We are a bunch of wacky guys. We like to have a bit of fun. We like to talk F1. It can get serious. It can get fun, but the most important thing is that we are just chill. So if you just want a chilled conversation to talk about F1, pop that subscribe button and give us a watch. I promise you, you won't be sorry. Gents, I don't know if you have any final thoughts, but I'm going to say goodbye. You guys can shout whatever you like there. But cheers, that's me.
For everyone, because Graham always forgets, remember to tap the like as well. Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a guru on the social media thing. Yeah, but ultimately do what Dirk said, because, credible. He's credible. You got to listen to him. If he says you got to touch the like button, then there's possibly, I don't know, what does a unicorn jump out? Do they win money? What do they get for touching the like button? Nothing. Okay,
it makes like a fancy flash with like sparkles and stuff coming out.
And who doesn't like some sparkles? Gents, touch that like button. Touch that like button. That sounds very dodgy. Press that like button.
In any case, have a nice night.
Press that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you again in the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers, bye.